everybody, it's welcome to Juju's Journey. I'm a 57-year-old widow. My name is Juju. I've decided it's time to start fresh. This channel is to keep me accountable, to give myself joy, give myself permission to be joyful and budget because I'm on a fixed income, just all the things. Right now I'm just in a transition period of getting everything ready for all of my focus for January coming up. So right now I'm just basically getting comfortable in front of the channel and kind of documenting my journey. I look like teetotal, you know what, because I don't feel that well. I'm very nasally, stopped up. This, I call it the crud, whatever we've had going on. It's been lingering for a couple of months, but it's like you think you're getting better and then it kind of comes back. But I've had a lot of weird things happen to me since the last time I popped on. I think the last time I popped on was December 24th. And I will let you know right now, Christmas was one of the best in the books. It was the best day ever. There's nothing, nobody, I mean, when you have siblings, I know y'all know this, when you have children, and then they have their spouses, and there were 4 siblings together, and 4 spouses, and then 3 littles, and we literally spent the whole entire day together, and not a single one got on each other's nerves, not one time. And I call that a success. They never get on each other's nerves bad enough to, you know, one particular couple does, but that's a long story. But they behaved themselves too. And so it was perfect, absolutely beautiful, perfect. My granddaughter, who's 6, she said it was the best day of her life. And it was so sweet. I was there when, you know, they got to do Santa. And she's so cute. She's been like this since she was little. Like going through her stocking, she takes one thing out and she opens it. She looks at it. She plays with it for a minute. And I'm like, just dump your stocking out. Dump it out. And she's like, no. And then we're sitting there going, okay, 10 hours later, we're on toy number 3. Just laughing. But she had gone to her little store at her school. They had a Christmas shop. And she bought me this cute little compact mirror to go in my pocketbook. And it says, "The Perfect Grandma." And she gave that to me. She gave her dad a little keychain that said #1 Dad. And then he got another wrap gift, and it was a keychain that said, the best dad ever, I think, or super dad. And then she gave her mama, it looks like a gumball machine ring that's so cute. It's a little flower ring, you know, that you can separate the adjustable, but if you squeeze it, it'll go flat. But it's beautiful. And she got her little brother Hollis a little tiny, he can't choke on it, but one of those fidget things where you push the bubbles in. But it's only got like 3 little poppers, you know. And her mother gave her $40 to go to this little Christmas shopping. She came home with no money over a 2-day period. I'm sorry, I'm telling you, whatever we have is just lingering. I'm not the only one in my family that has it either. But it's cute. I guess we've decided that the PTO needed funding. But we were sad that the little kids that said their parents only gave them $5. Did they only get to buy one little trinket, you know? I hope not. I hope they were able to get little prizes for their family because, you know, that made her so proud. And then I had to brag on my son-in-law. He took my granddaughter, 6 years old, shopping, spent probably 6 hours shopping like 2 days before Christmas. And they had wrapped up these big, I guess it was Sephora. Is that the name? I don't know this kind of stuff. But he bought me and his wife and Aunt Moo Moo. This is what, Department 59, is that what it is? The whole series. Like I got the body butter, the body spray, and I got the bath shower gel. And oh my gosh, it smells so good. And they came in the really nice boxes. So he picked that out, he and my granddaughter by themselves, and his wife didn't direct him, didn't tell him to get us anything. He just did it out of his own heart. I thought that was very sweet. And then my son, who was directed by his sisters, got me Laneige, Laneige, the whole facial. I mean, you have the cleanser, the milk spray, and then the moisturizer. And I just did that. That's why my face is so shiny. But I just took my makeup off. I can't believe I look horrible. So that was Christmas, and it was beautiful. Like, we played card games, we drank mimosas, we ate wonderful food, we had wonderful little appetizers. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day. And everybody was happy. Nobody was stressed. Everybody was just laid back. We didn't make anybody feel stressed out about being there at a certain time. You know, if they had other family members to visit, go do it, and we'll be here waiting. It was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then the next day on the 26th was my daughter's 30th birthday. And so we had a party. And Juju drank way too many beers. But I had fun because my granddaughter got this really cool, not just a typical karaoke machine, but a really, really nice karaoke machine. And we'll sing with microphones, but we actually used her little karaoke machine that night. We had a good time. And we had to make sure we stayed up until the birthday was over. So we went until after midnight. And so the next day I just knew I was just going to be lazy and not have to do much. But my daughter, who had her wisdom teeth removed, who also had the birthday on the 22nd of December, her wedding dress came in. And we had to go try it on. Or she decided, let's go try it on. And so we did. And so that was a 2.5 hour drive there and a 2.5 hour drive home. And right time I got home, I said, I'm going to eat and I'm going to take a shower, get on some comfy pajamas, and I'm going to bed. And so I ran to get coffee creamer when my daughter brought me home, I ran and got coffee creamer, and at the Dollar General, they had a frozen dinner, one of those things where the mashed potatoes and the chicken and the corn, it was really disgusting. But I said, I am not going to wait until my daughter, who feeds me every night, I said, I am not going to wait until they call me. I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to bed. So as I was eating it, I got a phone call I did not want to receive. My 92-year-old uncle, who raised me since I was 5, you'll hear me talk about my aunt and my uncle. Anyway, he was in a nursing home, and he was under hospice care. He had only been at the nursing home for possibly like 2 months. He was assisted living, but he had deteriorated enough to go to nursing care. And so he was literally 10 minutes or 15 minutes away from me at the most. And that's with a traffic light. Anyway, so I went out and had to wait until the hospice nurse got there, but he was transitioning. He was dying. And he ended up passing away about 2:30 a.m., between 2 and 2:30. I mean, it was sad watching him, but he's better off. His quality of life, he didn't know who we were. He wasn't even really talking to us or interacting for the past couple of weeks. So he's better off. He was 92. He lived a great life, and he lived a life. I mean, even at 8, I mean, he worked until he was 90. No, I'd say 89. He was 89. But we had a long battle. I mean, he raised me. He was tough. But when my aunt died, she was my heart, you know. And he wasn't so sympathetic like he should. And so we butted heads a lot while I was taking care of her. But then, I don't know how he did it. He was 88 years old, 87. And he ended up with a 48-year-old girlfriend who he met on Facebook, who even tattooed his name on her back. And we're telling you, no, he was not a redneck. Not saying that's redneck, but he was a very established businessman. Anyway, we had a big falling out. Big falling out when I found that out, because she had rearranged the whole house and was getting rid of things. My aunt with nothing for her to buy a $500 or $600 pocketbook. They were all, I mean, it was bad. So, anyway, long story short, I had to kick her out. He was trying to hide it, right? And he did good, because I was popping in several times a week. And because he didn't live in my hometown, he lived in a neighboring town. And then I got a phone call from somebody I'd gone to high school with to tell me what was up. And she was a bad person. She had done this to several men. Anyway, just put it this way. We can figure what we know, because we didn't know all of his finances, right? But the part of the finances that we did know, or did find out, was the only way we found out what she was doing is when his financial advisor called his daughter and said, I just want to let you know that your dad just called to take all of his money out of our plan. It's like an Edward Jones. And he said, I just thought you would want to know, because, he's 89 years old. And he was writing bad checks. This girl, in 9 months, we know, because his average checking account balance was like, just an average checking account balance for the past year was like $150,000 in his checking account. That wasn't savings or anything like that. And there's no telling if he had other accounts or what he did, He was still working too, so he's getting paychecks. She depleted him of all his little money. And then so he was going to cash out his Edward Jones, his retirement, because he had, bad news. But we got her kicked out. But he had told me that when he decided it was her over me, basically, because I inherited the house. The house belonged to my aunt. And, of course, he was going to live there with lifetime rights. But when I found out he had moved this bad person, I'd already been warned, in with him, I said, no, you can move out and live with her in the rental home you own. But you're not going to live in my house. Like, you can stay here until you die, and I will take care of you, but you're not going to live here with this person, she had sold a lot of stuff that belonged to us. But he chose her, so I said, well, the only way that's going to happen is you can just buy the house. It'll be yours. That was the best thing that ever happened. And I did all this with planning with his daughter, because if he did not have the house, he would not have even been able to afford his living, going to a nursing home or going to assisted living. And when he was diagnosed with dementia, which came on pretty fast, he had no choice. No, I mean, I couldn't do it. But when he was still of sound mind, when he chose her, he told me that I wasn't allowed to go see him even if he was on his deathbed. And I wasn't allowed to go to his funeral. And, of course, you don't hold things like that against people. And, of course, I was there on his deathbed. And life is funny sometimes. We act crazy. She was 48 years old, tattooed the name of him on her back, and he's 89 years old. And spent over $150,000 in cash in 9 months. He was able to spend a lot of his money. It helped out with the Social Security does not pay for those things, like assisted living, just to let y'all know. It'll cover a little bit of it, but if you're going to go to a decent one, no. So he was able to supplement for a certain amount of period of time until the other money ran out. And then he was able to sell the house, which, had he not bought the house, which he paid cash for, he didn't borrow money, and he didn't get it from Edward Jones, she would have spent that money too. So basically it saved him, me selling him the house. It saved him. But anyway, we ended up okay. But it was rough there. When you're grieving your mama and something like that happens just within like 4 months of her death, you don't take it so well. 88 years old. He was 88. 88 years old with a 47 or 48-year-old woman. He thought he was the bee's knees. Oh, goodness. She told me, I love that man more than you will ever know. I'm like, oh, my goodness. But, yeah, they said that she had done that to a lot of men. And she wasn't. My uncle was anti-drugs, anti-cigarettes. I mean, he, of course, drank. He was not saying, of course, he drank, but I mean, he was a social drinker and big Gamecock fan. Never missed a single game, even the away games, until he was probably 89. Somehow that ended after she came along. But until then, he was going all over the United States following them. And like I said, I mean, he was on the board of directors at our hospital, just all these little things, and he ends up with something like that. It was bad. Bad. But I guess he thought he was the bee's knees. But anyway, we're good, and he's no longer suffering, and that's the main thing. And then today, like, I'm still tired from that because I'd been up all night for 2 nights, or, you know, that happened on the 28th. And so today is what? I don't even know what day it is. It's today the 29th. Yep. So the 27th, hangover, staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning, still not being able to sleep, probably didn't go to sleep and catch but like an hour and a half. And then yesterday was, you know, his daughter's going to have him cremated. I think I'd already told you that. And then a service will be later when we can get everybody together. But I'm not upset about that. That didn't send me back down to a depression. So today, the good news is my daughter decided she was going to have a wedding. She had been on the fence. She didn't know if she wanted a wedding. She bought a dress, a really, really nice dress. But she said she was going to elope and then just put the dress on. She was going to play dress up. Her husband was going to play dress up, and they were going to get pictures made. And I kept saying, I think you need to have, if you're going to have pictures made, you need a memory with the dress. So she decided, after she put on her dress on Saturday, and then we had to put a date because, you know, it's got to be altered a little bit. And then she started looking. I'd been telling her they have these little places where you can go and elope or have very small, affordable weddings. So she started looking, and in Charleston, South Carolina, beautiful location. It's going to make the most beautiful pictures. She booked it. We've already put the deposit down and everything. And with hair and makeup, she gets that. She only has to pay $50 for traveling fee for them. She gets someone to officiate the wedding. She gets a photographer that is going to take pictures for, like, I think an hour to an hour and a half. 20 chairs. They'll help you plan and do everything. She gets a bouquet. He gets a boutonniere. The venue, they'll even get your marriage license, but she's already got her marriage license. They'll file it for you, but they just do they take care of it. It's like a little wedding planner. And of course, and they have, like, vendors, like, she might choose to get a violinist. So they already have one that they can get that's only going to be like $200 to $300 more if she chooses that route. But if they had to get permits for venues, they'll do that. My daughter decided to choose this one, and she didn't have to do a permit, which is a good thing. But they're affordable weddings. What she's got going on right now with what I just told you, minus the violinist, is like $1,745. And that's it. That includes the photographer. That includes, I'm sure the pictures aren't included, but the photographer taking that many pictures. And I'm sure you have to buy a certain amount. I'll have to look at the contract more. Or maybe that comes with a certain amount and then you can buy extra. But it includes the person who's going to marry you. It includes your little wedding planner. They put the chairs out. They take the chairs up. They hair, makeup, bouquet. And with her dress, the way it's made, the bouquet is just the one you hold that's tied together, you know. Very simple but elegant, because her dress is just simple but elegant. And it's going to be beautiful. And she's got a beautiful little thin body, you know. So, and it's just going to be beautiful. And it's huge oak trees with moss. So the pictures are going to be beautiful. And so all we have to do, we're going to book our hotel. We're going to stay on a Friday, the whole family. It's 20 people, his immediate family, her immediate family, and their 2 best friends and their spouses. And we'll hang out on Friday. Family, you go out to eat together. Spend a night at the hotel, wake up, get her dressed, hair, makeup, get her to her wedding. And then we said after it's over with and it's time for them to have their own pictures made together. There may be a few with family. But like I told her, you don't need a whole bunch of family pictures. We can snap those. She's just mainly going to want them of her and her husband. Because we don't have to do the bride of the... I don't have to wear a mother of the bride dress. It's not going to be that fancy. You know, she's not going to have bridesmaids. So it's going to be very sweet, very intimate. And after it's over with, we're going to come home, let them have the rest of the weekend by themselves. At first we said we'll, instead of having a reception, that we would just go to a nice restaurant. And they'll book that for you too in this package. But they'll reserve it and give you ideas. Like we were going to go to a nice restaurant, not like a... And then maybe let her cut the cake and toast and have a nice dinner. And that would have been her reception. But then we thought about it because they're going to have to go to work on that Monday. We just kind of picked a date to get this process over with, you know, and so we decided, no, let them spend the rest of their day, like get the pictures made, go back, change their clothes, and let them go out to dinner, and I'll get a small wedding cake, and they can do that in their room with champagne just by themselves. We don't have to be there for all that. I mean, she was going to elope at the courthouse. So, I mean, this is going to be a better memory. It's something just for her. And we'll just come on home. It's only a 2.5-hour drive. So we'll come home and let them have it for the rest of the day. And, I mean, the rest of the night and the next day. And then we said when they got back into town, we would have a little get-together for them with her family. And then his family or their friends can have a small party for him to celebrate. And it's less, like what she's got going on right now is less than $2,000. Needless to say, I mean, she's bought her wedding dress. Hotel's going to cost money. But they go every weekend somewhere anyway. So that's not going to be really a different expense that they normally don't have. You know, they've already gone snow skiing this year. I think they've already gone somewhere else for the weekend. They're always going somewhere. So, yeah, it's going to be good. She'll have a memory behind that picture she wants in that dress. She just wanted to play dress up, but now she'll have a memory. And so that's such good news. And that makes me so excited. But I haven't done anything, not since Christmas. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's been busy, like really busy, like so busy. But I'm still on track on trying to figure out how to have the most productive new year that I can have. I'm going to stay focused and we're going to have fun. I really and truly, I want to start doing all the things that I had in my mind, I do want to do some crafting. I definitely, the budget thing is a must because I have really not done good. I've done okay, but I have got to budget. I have no choice. I am by myself, and I do want to live life and have fun. So if I have stupid spending like I've found myself doing this past month, I can't say it's stupid spending. We did go look for shoes while we were in Columbia, and it was a warehouse. The lady from the bridal shop said, try DSW, Discount Shoe Warehouse. Never been there. They have like dress shoes, but they didn't have anything my daughter liked. But then they have all these tennis shoes. And that was a weird noise. Well, that had to have been my cat. Sorry, y'all. Oh, it is my cat. So anyway, I'd bought a pair of tennis shoes, or walking shoes, because, that's on my focus. And I like them, but they're kind of like a tan khaki color. And that's not what I settled for those. And so when we were walking through, I saw these cute black ones. And I like Skechers. And I wanted to try the shoes that that the heel doesn't collapse, that you could just slide your foot into. And they had a cute pair. They're downstairs, or either I'd show them to you. And so they were like $89. And I had them because I said, I'll wear black a lot. That'll be good. And I said, and they're what I was looking for. And I'm trying to set myself up for a successful year, right? So the things that I've purchased, like, a lamp so I can read in my bed instead of, because I told you I have the adjustable bed that when I have my head lifted up, I can't reach my lamp. So I bought a reading lamp, floor lamp that can be right next to me. I bought a dog kennel that fits in the back of my car. That's the mesh collapsible, and the little dog ramp for my golden retriever. Because I can't just put him in, I'm not putting him wild in my back seat of my car. My car's new. And he's never been trained to do this, so I can't push him up into the car. So I bought the little ramp. That was kind of expensive. Probably I would say about $150 or $60 for both of those things. But it's time for him to go to the vet in like a month. And plus, I think if I take him to Tractor Supply, they have a place that you can bathe animals for $10. And I'd like to get him so I can transport him to go give him a good bath. That comes with the shampoo, everything that you need, the hair dryer for him, everything. And if it's gone up, I wouldn't imagine it's more than 15. And so I'd like to be able to, because I can't bathe him by myself at my house. But I could probably bathe him there. The first time I wouldn't do it, but anyway, so I did purchase that. But these are the things that I need to do to make my life easier because I am by myself. And I'm trying to bring joy back. And the whole last year, I didn't read a single book. I didn't even sit in my den and watch television. Didn't take down my Christmas. It's still up from last year. No, I still haven't done that. I mean, I have not lived in my house, so I'm going to try to find joy back in my house and make it where I can enjoy it. focus on myself, focus on my finances, focus on adventures. I've got a beach trip booked in January, and I said go somewhere about every 3 months, and now I'll be going to Charleston March 14th for a little wedding. So that's 2 things on my calendar. And I'm going to try to get involved giving of my time, giving of helping people in need, money-wise. Just focus on things that are going to bring me joy and make my life meaningful. But I also want to do, I've always wanted to do this. And I don't know if we bought the book, but I know I saw it, and I need to look. But my husband and I love to go to Ollie's, or he loved to go to Ollie's, but they always have a lot of books. And there was a book, 365 drinks that you can make. You know, a lot of people will drink a cocktail at night. I don't do that. But I thought that was a good idea. I even told him, I will drink a cocktail every night, just one, if we do this. This would be fun to make a drink and taste it and see if you like it. And I still want to do that in my life. I think that would be fun. And I love to craft. I have an eBay store. I need to get more involved in it. I would really like to build up my eBay store more this year and let it be something that funds my adventures. You know, I don't know. There's so much I want to do. And I want my community here on YouTube to be all the things that we can do in our life to bring us joy. And right now I'm just a talking head because I had to order new stuff for my binders. And the only way I'm going to bring myself joy is by staying on my budget. Like, let me tell you, Christmas. Last year, whenever I was in such panic mode, I was panicking because I lost my husband's Social Security, or we lost it, but I lost it because now I'm single. I'm not old enough to get Social Security. So when I lost that, I'm getting money for my retirement. Well, we were getting money for my retirement along with my husband's Social Security. So we went, I went probably several thousand. I have a $3,000 budget. So I'm thinking I lost over half of what we were living on. Which, of course, 2 people cost more than 1 person. But my bills didn't go down, really. And then my financial advisor said he wanted me to stay on this budget because that was my husband's stuff, you know, from retirement. It just transferred over, so it had never been taxed. And so now it's got to be pulled out and put in my name and taxed. And if we leave it alone and he rolls it out over the next 10 years, then I can not lose money while it's getting taxed. So I really need to stay on this strict budget. And it's tough. It really is tough. $3,000 a month may be like a lot for some people, but when you live in a 3,000 square foot home with 3 bathrooms and 5 bedrooms and a heat pump upstairs, a heat pump downstairs, and you live in town and you have to pay property taxes and you have to pay insurance. You know, I had 3 cars at the time. And now I only have 1. But it was a lot to only have $3,000 a month. And see, while my husband was alive, we had that. But plus, we could pull more because it wasn't getting transferred over. You know what I mean? So I had no choice but to budget. And I still have no choice but to budget. But, so if you don't know about budgeting, I did the $0 base budget. That means what my income, I know it's $3,000. And before it hits my checking account, which I'll have to do here soon, you plan a budget and you spend every penny before it hits. Every dollar that's going into your checking account from your paycheck has a job. Has a job. Is spent before you even touch it, you know? So you have your, like this is my cash wallet right here. So you budget. My cash wallet has, and it's so messed up right now, it's got my personal spending money. It has my grocery money. It has my dining out money, my miscellaneous, and my lunch money. Everything, you pull cash and you have to know where all your money's going. You have to make sure you leave enough money in the bank to cover your bills that are getting drafted. And then you have you set up your binders. And so like you have your car taxes and your house taxes and house maintenance, all the things that are important, like your medical, you need a savings. You need to save for a month ahead because, you know, my goal is to get 6 months living expenses in my savings account in case something emergency happened. I know I'm going to be okay for 6 months. You know, you have to have an emergency fund. What if your hot water heater breaks, or, you know, but if you've spent all your little $3,000 a month, then you're messed up. You don't have it. So if you go ahead and start saving for these things that could happen, then you're ahead of the ball game. And so you kind of know what your house taxes might be for next year, and you divide it by 12, and you know, okay, this month I have to put X amount of money towards my house taxes, and you spend it. So therefore, when your house taxes come up, you're not going, oh my goodness, I have to find $1,500, you know. Same thing with your insurance. My insurance, I pay it once a year, so that's a big bill. And you just make sure you pay that every month. And then what's left over, you can, of course you have to eat, you know, so you do your groceries. But, you know, you fund every single thing in a way that you can live and not, I mean, even for your clothes, like you have a place for clothing, so you might want to give yourself $10 a week for clothing. You may have to save up to buy a pair of blue jeans, but that's okay because you're broke, you know. But then when you go to the store and you're paying cash for your blue jeans, but you've saved up for it, it's not going to hurt you because you've already spent the money 2 months ago every single week, you know, while you were saving up to buy the blue jeans. And plus, it also gives you accountability. You're not doing, when your money is already stuffed in an envelope somewhere, it's not sitting in your checking account. Some people could do this with the money in their checking account, and I admire those people. But you're not going to have the impulse buying. And your goal is no credit cards. I don't have a credit card. My husband and I didn't have credit cards. But you don't want a car payment. Thank God I don't have a car payment, but I'm older. But if you're younger, you don't want a car payment, and you don't want a house payment. You don't need those things to have credit either. Y'all need to go watch some Dave Ramsey. He's good. But, so I use a zero-based budget. That's my whole point. But each of my children, I have 5 grandchildren. 5. I have 5 children. And then I have 5 significant others. And so each of my grandchildren for Christmas got $100 in cash. Each of my children got $100 in cash. And then each of their significant others got $50 in cash. So we're doing, that's $1,100, $250. And then plus I help buy Christmas food. But my children's Christmas binder was completely stuffed mid-November. I think it was. And if not, I had enough cash and something else that was for gifts or something that I made them right, because I didn't do my stuffing November or December. Next year I will. I will not go off of it, because I ordered something off of Amazon today. It's really cute for my son-in-law. And it's so funny because the algorithms know what you're saying. But let me finish this. I'd spent this money all year long. It did not even break me in the checking account. None of my Christmas money came out of my checking account, because I stuffed $5 in each of these envelopes every week last year. I may have had to stuff 10 a few times, but if you sit down and do the math, you're good, you know? And I started that Ally savings account, and I'm earning good interest. It's a high yield interest. It's just worth it. And so we're going to do a lot of budgeting. We're going to do a lot of side hustling too, trying to figure out how to make money to help me go on adventures, because $3,000 a month is not going to send me on adventures. This girl wants to live life a little bit, and I want to be able to give a little bit too, because that was the best thing I've had all year, is giving. That made me really happy. So anyway, that's where we stand. It's been a really wonderful, 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 wonderful week. And although it was sad and it's tragic that my uncle died, who was like my dad, I have to say, I was very fortunate. I was a child that I belonged to a lot of different people. A lot of people helped raise me. But anyway, but it's all good. And I am moving forward. We're going to have lots of joy. We're going to have lots of fun. I did start opening up my computer. I did that for the first time yesterday. I could not figure out how to get this YouTube channel up on my computer, because somehow it would not go there. But I figured it out. Because whatever YouTube channel that's on that computer that's supposedly me, maybe I made one by accident, but none of the passwords, nothing worked. But I figured it out last night, and now I'm going to figure out how to make videos, because we've got painting to do. I've got floors to do. I've got a whole studio I've got to do. I mean, I'm going to stay busy, 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 busy in 2026. But I do have supplies ordered, because I have to make some new envelopes. My focus has changed a little bit. I went a whole year last year, and I know a little bit more than what's going to work for me in my saving journey, because these binders are yours. So whatever you're saving for or working towards is completely yours. And so that's what this girl's going to do. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to have joy. I have not missed devotion. I'm so proud of myself. That's basically what got me out of my funk whenever I went off of it. When I went off of my devotion is whenever I went downhill majorly. And whenever I started devotion back is whenever I started climbing out of my depression. And so I'm going to stay focused on that for sure. Anyway, God bless you. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile down you and be gracious to you. And may the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. And that is number 6:24 through 26. Y'all have a good night. God bless you. And hit that like and subscribe. Please. Bye.